Ben Shapiro losing his
Well,
mind
back
over
in
woke Disney. Let's take a
the
look.
1960s, there was a group of people who were called the neoconservatives. This is not like how we talk about neoconservatives today, meaning people who are just sort of hawkish on foreign policy and pretty vague about the terminology. There were a group of people who had decided that they were conservative mainly because they were liberals who'd been mugged by reality. They didn't shift their social policy. What they really realized is that their policies with regard to crime and foreign policy had been a gigantic fail. Well, we are about to see a wave of people who are returning to reality because it turns out that the left has been mugged by reality and continues to be mugged by reality. And we're seeing it all over the spectrum. We are seeing it in the media. We are seeing it in politics. We are seeing it with regard to places like Disney. So yesterday, Chris Rufo, who's done just yeoman's work in exposing the political indoctrination that has now become part and parcel of the Disney brand, Rufo released tape that he had obtained of an all-hands Disney meeting reintroducing old and now new CEO Bob Iger. Now, Iger is very much to the left, so much so that there was talk a few years ago about the possibility.
I love the idea of like a CEO of fucking a company like Disney is actually a leftist. Like there is no better proof that we have completely lost like any kind of semblance of like adequate leftist commentary in this country than like one of the most prominent right-wing commentators openly saying that a CEO of a multinational, like global mega corporation that is most famous for like the rigorous patent applications or rigorous intellectual property applications that are now a part of our law is actually a leftist, and no one laughs him out of the fucking room. Like, this is how fucking stupid we have become. It's how right-wing we've become, but it's so obvious that we've just become dumber and dumber as a consequence of becoming so right-wing that, like, someone like Steven Crowder can openly fucking write that Jeff Bezos is a leftist. Someone like Ben Shapiro, who's supposed to be a smarter version of Steven Crowder's idiocy, can openly state that Bob Iger, okay, like, running the helm of a company that owns its own Floridian town that is most famous for copyright restrictions is a leftist. Why? Because they don't want to whip every gay person they see, okay? That's why there must be a leftist, dude. Wow. Typical. Oh, they don't want to fucking literally kill a trans person every day? Well, must be too woke now. You must be a socialist, dude. Socialism and socialism is when you don't want to do gay conversion therapy. Communism is when you say, hey, maybe we shouldn't do gay conversion therapy actually, like, and tell others that they shouldn't do it.
Possibility that Bob Iger might actually throw his hat into the ring for the Democratic presidential nomination. There's only one problem for Bob Iger and his wild left perspectives on life, and that is that in taking over Disney again, the stock price of Disney has dumped completely. So Disney stock was about $183, 47 cents, September 17th, 2021. Today, it is at $94.69. So it has been sliced in about half over the course of the last year and a half or so. Not even year, about a year.
Is there socialism but with God? Yes, look up ecumenical Marxism. And not only that, but also, but yes, of course, dude. Like Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. was a Marxist.
Is really when it started to dump. And one of the reasons for this is because Disney decided to go woke. So part of this has to do with the dynamics of streaming and the fact that as the economy starts to slow down and people spend less money on entertainment and people go back to work, that they are picking up less streaming services, sure. But
Disney stock dipped because it came out that Chapek was cooking the books on how much Disney Plus was losing. Ben's got no idea what he's talking about. No, man, that's what fucking woke leftists do. You don't understand, okay? You literally don't understand. It's woke and leftist to cook the books, okay? I bet he was cooking the books because he wanted to lie to the people and make them gay by making gay movies. Disney Plus is LGBT plus, okay? LGBTQIA plus, Disney Plus. Coincidence? I think not. Hypothetically, let's say the top of the hour is here. Let's say that you no longer want to see those ads. Well, hypothetically, just like my wife, you would have to subscribe for $5 or for free. My wife says, who is a doctor, by the way, hypothetically, she subscribed to the HasanAbi broadcast. Because she no longer wants to see those ads. Why is she watching the HasanAbi broadcast? Nobody knows. You can also get gifted a sub. I wish HasanAbi. Thank you for the 5 gifted subs. What? I wish HasanAbi is how you wrote that. King Eldora, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. DJ Kento, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. Ryan Austin X98, thank you for the 10 gifted subs. Allowing 20 people to no longer see the ads at the top of the hour. That's 3-minute ad break coming right now, and 1 minute in the middle of the hour.
But that does not explain why Disney has disproportionately been slapped directly across the chops by the American public. The reason for that is because Disney has made clear that its priorities are not your
Savoya,
priorities.
thank you for the 5 gifted subs.
There is no bigger old Disney fan than I. I am an enormous old Disney fan. And we owned all the tapes growing up. We used to listen in my house. I shared a room with 3 of my siblings, and my parents, to put us to sleep, would put on like a small cassette tape of the music from Beauty and the Beast, like every single night. The goal was to fall asleep before you hit the Gaston song where he sings about killing the beast. Right, that was the goal. But we were huge Disney fans, and that meant
Ben being a Disney adult is the least surprising thing I've ever heard in my entire life. Okay? Also, there's nothing more lame than fucking absolutely losing your mind at like what Disney chooses to do to make money or whatever the fuck, or you know what I mean? First of all, it's so liberal to be a Disney adult, okay? Which Ben is. Ben is a lib and a Disney adult. It's also funny because Disney has always been fruity as fuck. And like, so when he's defending all the other fruity Disney movies from the past that he likes to watch, he is forgetting that they are, extremely gay. The movies that he likes are still extremely gay. The movies that he doesn't like now are also gay. But they were gay before, and they will continue to be gay. It's really gay to be a Disney adult, and there's nothing wrong with that. Well, there is something wrong with being a Disney adult. There's nothing wrong with being gay. As long as you keep that shit in the bedroom, if you know what I'm saying. Okay? But like, I wish that was a word for Republican libtard. We will never find one, though. Oh, well. Rhino, brother. He prefers the one where a minor is kidnapped and psychologically tortured into a relationship. This is the other avenue of Disney understanders. Like, people that look at like some of the most like insane stories that were written by German people, okay? Immediately, automatically qualifying for child abuse, okay? If you read your child a story that a German person wrote, understand that there's gonna be fucking cannibalism in it, okay? You probably shouldn't have anyone read that shit. But, however, alas, we do, okay? So then you look at those fucking stories at face value and you go, wow, a lot of these stories are about minor exploitation and sex trafficking. It's like, dude, you're a nerd, okay? It is what it is. Like, who cares? It's just, it's an old fairy tale. Yeah, it's fucking messed up. You're supposed to look past the problematic age gap or whatever and like exclusively focus on the good message of like, be a good person, sharing is caring, things like that. You know what I mean? And also don't make your mom upset because she will fucking cut you up and then put you in the borscht and feed you to your father. That's a real Brothers Grimm story, by the way. Oh, man, Germans are so fucked up, okay? It's crazy. I didn't choose to be a Disney adult. Love is love. Yeah, most folk tales from La Fontaine to Brothers Grimm revolve around pretty basic principles being taught to children, okay? Like, don't wander off into the fucking woods by yourself, That's not a good idea. Listen to your parents, or they will cook you and eat you. If you lie a lot, then people won't believe you when you're telling the truth. Like, there's no reason to just like look at that and go, oh my god, I can't believe the problematic age gap between the fucking the seven dwarves and the Snow White. Was it Snow White that did the seven dwarves thing? I don't know.
That the biggest treat in the world when I was a kid was mom and dad take us out of school and they take us to Disneyland. That was like the best thing. And then when I became an adult and I had kids of my own, we became Disney annual pass members over in California. And then when we moved to Florida, one of the big draws was, okay, we still have Disneyland 2.5 hours away, which is awesome. And it's just fantastic. And again, I love all the old Disney product. I love the music. I love the movies. Like this is one of the great American companies of all time.
This is Seven Dwarfs. She didn't fuck them, dude. Lol. Yeah, that's what you think, bitch. See, this is what I'm saying. The woke agenda by the likes of Will Neff, dude, are hiding that Snow White was letting the whole town hit, dude. Okay? 3 at a time, 4 at a time. What do you know, dude? Were you one of the dwarves? No? Okay, you weren't there. Shut up. I don't even know what I'm saying, dude. Please, I'm delirious right now. Do not take anything. Snow White was a political refugee. Stop, please. My childhood is in shambles. Is it fucked up that Pinocchio was my North Star for learning that life sometimes serves you terribly? Time would. No, it's understandable, dude. That's what Pinocchio was about, right? If you lie, you will get a boner. Everyone has that issue, right? Can't believe I'm not the only one, right? Haha, come on, everybody has that.
Disney. But it became clear over the past few years that they were now attempting to inject woke politics into what they were doing, particularly with regard to LGBT issues. And
yeah, the Seven Dwarfs were actually woke propaganda about polycules. They wanted to show representation from all walks of life, including little people. One of the earliest instances of woke propaganda from Disney. Absolutely unacceptable.
Just a few months ago, Chris Rufo revealed an all-hands Disney meeting in which people were openly bragging about injecting a quote-unquote not at all secret gay agenda into Disney content. And that followed hard on Disney injecting itself directly into politics in Florida for no apparent reason.
The only thing that is like not a secret about Disney's gay agenda now is that they just say that they're going to do it. It was always gay, brother. If you didn't understand that, I don't know what to tell you. Who cares? That's what made it fun.
Florida passed a bill that was designed to prevent the sexual indoctrination of children under the age of 8. The media immediately labeled it the quote-unquote don't say gay bill, but that, of course, is not what the bill says. The bill says you're not allowed to teach sexual orientation or gender identity to children under the age of 8. That is what the bill says. It was designed to prevent the indoctrination of kids into left-wing sexual...
Yes, it's just weird because, like, nobody's getting punished for, I don't know, being in a straight relationship. Nobody's getting punished for being in a straight relationship in school for some strange reason. You know. They forgot the 8th anarchist dwarf, Stinky. Oh, God. Thank God. You think my noise gate is off and you can occasionally hear shit from the, I don't know. Probably not.
Sexual values while they are very, very small children. And Disney originally had nothing to say about this. And then the media did what they usually do. They started calling up Disney and trying to pressure Disney because they recognize that the top executives at Disney are Democrats, and they recognize that a huge base of the Disney creatives are Democrats.
Bro, if this kind of conversation has any space in your mind, you are so insane. Like motherfuckers are dying because they just don't have money. They're dying on the streets, okay? So much homelessness. People are doing crimes as a consequence of not having, food to eat. And like this fucking asshole is talking about how gay Disney is. It's been gay, okay? There's no better representation of how fucking privileged you are than routinely and endlessly thinking about Disney being too gay for your taste, okay? It's just nuts. I'm tired of Disney trying to make my musicals about princesses gay. Yeah, so fucked up. Someone put a stop to this. These fucking musicals have gotten too gay. I'm sick and tired of it. Back in the day, you could just watch a princess movie and not feel gay, okay? Just the gayest thing. You're describing the gayest thing historically. I'm losing my mind.
And they recognize that a huge percentage of Disney employees are either gay or straight who are in favor of same-sex marriage, for example, and are all like sexually liberal, at least in their value system. And so they push Disney. And Disney,
Yeah, I wonder why, bro. They work at Disney, dog. They work at Disney. Of course they're gay as fuck. Oh my God. Ben's like going to the Abbey and being like, Ben's like going to a Chippendales concert and being like, it's kind of gay. What's going on here? Back in the day, Chippendales dancers didn't make my dick hard. Now they're making my dick extra hard. What's going on? Someone needs to stop this. It's literally like being offended at one of the gayest institutions being like, yeah, man, maybe like we shouldn't fucking kill gay people. It's just an across the board self-report. Hypothetically speaking, why are these homosexuals sucking my cock all the time?
Disney caved. And Disney decided that they were going to inject themselves directly into politics, and they came out swinging against Governor Ron DeSantis and the Republican legislature, condemning the bill. And this prompted Governor DeSantis and the Republican legislature to say, well, hold up a second. You guys have special tax districts. You have special tax giveaways. You don't get to inject yourself into state politics and basically try to stump against the political party in power for your own benefit, while at the same time expect us to continue granting you all sorts of largesse. That's not something that we are willing to do. Now, you can make the argument that Governor DeSantis shouldn't have done that. You can make the argument that the Republican legislature should have left it alone, that basically corporations get to say whatever they want without any sort of consequence. There's only one problem with that. If that rule only applies with regard to the right, then all the corporations will be left-wing. And that is precisely what's been occurring over the course of the last 10 or 15 years. If you had said 15 years ago, the biggest corporations in America would be reflecting the most wild left social policies, everybody would have laughed at you. These were capitalistic corporations. Why exactly would they betray their audience that way? Not only that, many of these corporations were headed up by people who were business savvy.
Yo, there was no point in time in the past 30 years where Disney wasn't gay. That's number one. And two, that's the point. You're right. They are capitalist corporations. And them realizing that gay people have disposable income, okay? And that's another audience that they could penetrate. That's just more capitalism. You already arrived at the truth of the matter. That's it. It's broadening your target market, because guess what? People who are constantly upset about gay people existing are a much smaller market than gay people themselves and the people who don't care that gay people exist. The broadest percentage of the market, if you want to increase your market share, are just normal people, okay? Some of them are gay, some of them are straight. But ultimately it doesn't matter. They just don't, like, this doesn't take a lot of space in their minds. And then you have the psychos in the corner who are like, oh my God, gay people exist, and you're constantly telling me that? This is the worst thing you could have ever done, sir. Okay? And most corporations see that, and trust me, if there was a larger percentage of the population that thought like Ben Shapiro, okay, then there was a percentage of the population that just like doesn't care about gay people like that, or are gay, or are pro-gay, you know what I mean? Then Disney would be homophobic as shit. They would somehow find a way to make it work. They would try to make the least, like, they would try to make the gayest concept, musicals about princesses, into something that is not gay, okay? I'm sure they would try. But that is not the reality.
and tended to be kind of conservative. So why would they do all of that? And the answer is that we had a wild asymmetry in terms of who was pressuring these major companies. The left was pressuring these companies. These companies were responding to the left, and the right was not answering in any way, shape, or form. Well, now the right has responded. And one thing that has happened is that not only have people like me and my family essentially disassociated from Disney, and we are not annual pass holders at Disneyland.
Oh, no, dude. How will Disney recover from this, dude? That's crazy. We are no longer going to the Gay Princess Musical Land because the Gay Princess Musical Company said that, gay people should exist. They crossed the line with me on that one, man. That was really fucked up. Me and my family are no longer going to Chippendales dancers every month. Me and my family are no longer going to Vegas to watch the Chippendales dancers dance. They are too bodacious.
Anymore. We used to subscribe to Disney Plus. We do not subscribe to Disney Plus anymore. That is not where my kids watch their entertainment because, frankly, I don't trust Disney with my kids. Disney used to be a place for innocence and childhood magic, and now Disney is a place where you go to see a lesbian couple in Lightyear, or you go to see a 16-year-old boy hit on another boy in the new Disney movie that came out last week. Well, unsurprisingly, there are a lot of parents who feel about this stuff.
Yeah, back in the day, Disney used to be a place where a male dog and a female dog could suck on a piece of pasta until they kissed in the middle. That was what I was interested in. Now, you can have a 16-year-old boy and another 16-year-old boy talk to one another in a sexual capacity. Why can't we get back to the good stuff? I need to make sure that the animated dog is female and the animated dog hypothetically is male when they're kissing one another over pasta, over a dish of pasta.
The way that I feel about this stuff, the way my wife feels about this stuff. And so Disney has been taking it absolutely on the chin, which necessitated that Bob Chapek, who'd been the sort of interim.
Back in my day, Disney had adult men flirting with teenagers, and that's better for my kids. Yeah, exactly. Back to the way things used to be. Like, princesses being kissed without consent by adult men. Which, by the way, I mean, even then, it's like it's supposed to be about the broader lessons, okay? Not like the main point there.
Director, he'd been brought in to replace Iger when Iger stepped down. He has now been ousted, and Iger is back. So Iger did an all-hands meeting, and in this all-hands meeting, he said, it's time to quiet things down and move back to political neutrality. Now, do I trust that Disney's actually going to do this?
Wait, in Lion King, Simba and Nala are siblings? They literally fall in love and even get a saucy love scene? Wait, Simba and Nala were siblings? No. Made that up. They were not siblings, but cousins? Same father? They're... Yo. They were half siblings? What the fuck? Real lions fuck their cousins, chat. Yo, that's a yikes for me, dude. Disney needs to get back to its roots and promote cousin fucking. Oh. Disney used to care about the people in Alabama. It seems like they no longer care about the people in Alabama. It's the fucking Animal Kingdom, dog. See, but like that's another great fucking moment where you're like, you're not supposed to think about that. You never think about that. And now this fucking loser is making you think about that. You know what I mean? Like, that's not supposed to be a thing that you think about or consider or care. It's not true. Oh, thank God Disney Wikia has clarity on this. What is his personality? Young Simba, baby Simba, young adult Simba. Lion King 2, Simba's Pride. You know, I never watched Lion King 2. The wiki is retconning. I used to think lions were boys and tigers were girls. As a kid, Lion King was so confusing to me because of this. I now know the truth. Nala's father. He's the maid of Serafina, the father of Nala, and the father-in-law of Simba, and thus Kiara and Keon's maternal grandfather. What? What the fuck is Keon? Is that new shit? Are Simba and Nala related? A lion expert weighs in. The entire relationship could go against the laws of lion nature. You can see every strand of fur on the lions, every piece of grace on the savannah, every last particle it does. Wait, is the new Lion King like CGI? I missed it. There was a whole CGI one and it was trash. Wait, really? Did they do a drawn one? Bro, someone tune in and see you explaining Lion King's lore. Yeah, they're like, hey, I watched the streamies last night. Let me check out this fucking HasanAbi guy's stream because they kept calling me HasanAbi. Let me check in on his stream. What does he talk about? Oh, wait, what? Talking about lions fucking? Incestuous lions in the pride? Okay, nope, not for me. Click. It was CGI realism. Lose a lot of charm that way? Yeah, dude. Listen, man, I take this shit seriously, okay? There's accusations that there's incestuous relationships being promoted in Lion King. I'm gonna look into it. I'm not gonna let it hang like that. No thanks. Goes back to conservatism. What is this Zoomer shit? Back in my day, we had 151 Pokemon, 5 lions, and only 2 genders, brother. Exactly, brother. What the hell? Now you got 500 Pokemons. I don't like that.
Trust that Disney isn't going to continue to inject its politics into what it does. I don't think they're going to stop. I think they're going to continue to inject the politics. I think they're going to do it in slightly more subtle fashion. I think they're going to try to raise a few less hackles because, after all, doing it very publicly and very openly is what has brought about this state of affairs for Disney financially. But the fact that Disney is feeling the pressure is once again a sign that when the right rears its head, not even the right, when mainstream parents rear their heads and say, we are not interested in products that try to sell this garbage, then corporations do listen. Counter pressures work, in other words. Here's Bob Iger.
Maybe he's just mad that like Disney literally never had like Disney's greatest characters are its villains, okay? Let's be real. Villains really run the show. And every single villain is gay. So maybe Ben's just upset that like for the first time Disney has like protagonists that are kind of gay or queer coded or whatever. And that's what he's like upset about. I mean, literally every Disney villain is gay as fuck, okay? Ursula is a drag queen. Hades is definitely a muscle daddy, okay? I mean, even Scar, like Scar's a little fruity. He's a little zesty, you know? Think about that. Cruella de Vil, again. Gaston, what about Gaston? Dude, come on. Nobody drinks that many protein shakes, okay? What do I always say? You go to the gym that much, you're gay. Hard to do a musical number and not come off as gay? Yeah, exactly. I know you're not going to read this, but my sister worked at his company, and when he apparently had like every Disney movie on Blu-ray, he's a huge fan. I mean, we know he's a huge fan. That's why he's so disappointed.
Admitting that it's time to go back to neutrality.
Many cast members had wished that Disney stayed out of politics, Will Disney stay out of making political statements?
I think there's a misperception here about what politics is. And I think that some of the subjects that have proven to be controversial as it relates to Disney have been branded political, and I don't necessarily believe they are. I don't think when you are telling stories and attempting to be a good citizen of the world that that's political.
Okay, so you can already hear that he is reluctantly dissociating. So this is why I say I don't trust Disney at all, because what he's saying is it's not really political. When we inject LGBTQ messaging into children's film, that's not political, guys. That's just the way the world works. And this is the left-wing echo bubble that exists in Hollywood and in the media.
The left-wing
is that no matter
echo
how far
bubble.
left they push, they're just reflecting reality. That's why you're evil. Right? This is why the typical imbalance in politics has been that the right has suggested that the left is wrong and the left has suggested that the right is evil, because the right says, we have an opinion about a thing and you have an opinion about a thing and we think your opinion is wrong. And the left has said, we reflect the facts. We reflect the world.
Bro, yeah, gay people existing is not a political subject. It's just the truth. You know? I mean, that's kind of the point, right? Like, the reason why people say you're evil is not because, like, you have a difference in opinion. It's because your difference in opinion revolves around making a group of people invisible for political purpose. Like, yeah, the existence of gay people is not a political subject because it's just the truth.
And you oppose the facts and the world, and therefore you are evil and you are bigoted. You can hear that sort of language from Bob Iger, and you can hear the deep sigh when asked if they're going to get out of politics. But even Bob Iger understands market necessities. So he was asked about the situation in Florida, and he says, yeah, we kind of regret that we put our foot in that water. The alligator bit it off.
Bob, have you given any thoughts on how to tackle the Reedy Creek situation in Florida?
No. I have to get up to speed on that completely. Obviously, I followed the news. That development occurred after I left.
Nothing is going to happen there. Ron DeSantis was just trying to fucking get some media. That's it. Disney is still a fucking powerhouse for Florida. Not that I have an issue, but there's no way that they fucking keep... Yep. Florida prepares U-turn on Disney's Don't Say Gay punishment. Good thing I can read this without a fucking paywall. No, oh wait, I can't.
Left the company. I was sorry to see us dragged into that battle. And I have no idea exactly what its ramifications are in terms of the business itself. What I can say is the state of Florida has been important to us for a long time, and we have been very important to the state of Florida. That is something I'm extremely mindful of and will articulate if I get the chance. But I don't have the details at all yet about what the ramifications are of the decision that was made by the state of Florida and whether we intend to do anything about it.
Well, good for Bob Iger for at least recognizing reality, even if through a glass darkly. You can see that he's not particularly happy about having to acknowledge that Disney shouldn't have gotten involved in Florida. Don't believe him, by the way, when he says he's not informed on this. Of course he's informed on this. He's the incoming... I mean, I know about...
Why is he acting like... Why is Ben acting like he's uninformed about the recent developments in the Florida thing? Like, this isn't old news. I mean, I guess it technically is even newer, but this was slated to happen for a while. You didn't need to see this in the news to know that this was going to happen. You could have just looked at Ron DeSantis' track record of being the type of dude who consistently capitulates the Capitol, and his track record of being the type of dude who consistently backtracks on problematic things that he does, specifically to get media coverage and be talked about in national news. Anyway, let's continue.
About it, and I'm not the CEO of Disney. So he clearly knows about it. But again, reality is a 2x4 and it clocked Mickey Mouse across the head. Bob Iger didn't stop there. He was asked specifically about the so-called Don't Say Gay bill, and once again, he sort of punted.
All right, another virtual question. What is your stance on the Don't Say Gay situation?
Well, first of all, our LGBTQ employees are very important to us, and we care deeply about them. That is a given. We also, when you tell stories,
You can see that the CEO is bi-sitting.
it's a delicate balance. You're talking to an audience, but it's also important to listen to an audience. It's important to have respect for the people that you're serving, that you're trying to reach, and not have disdain for it.
Wait, are you saying DeSantis is a cloud chaser? Wait, what? Are you new here? Absolutely, brother. Yes. DeSantis famously always, in an effort to get like mainstream recognition and make a name for himself, would look to whatever Trump was saying, apply it in like the limited scope of Florida law, and then get yelled at by liberal media, and that would create this galvanizing effect within the Republican Party. Okay. That would give him some, big media notices. And then it would just turn around and completely routinely undermine the original thing that he was doing or get held up in courts or whatever. He did this so many times. He did this with like the police force that went and arrested a bunch of fucking Floridians for voting. He copied Greg Abbott with the migrant shipping. He copied Greg Abbott so much he actually shipped some Venezuelan migrants from Texas to Martha's Vineyard. Like those guys weren't even in Florida.
Have disdain for them. Wow. It seems as though the message is actually getting in. Now, again, it's a message that Bob Iger and Disney don't want to receive, but they're beginning to receive it. And the left is going to continue to receive these messages. As they run directly off the rails over and over and over socially, people are going to deliver that message over and over and over if there are interest groups, if there are parents, if there are citizens who are willing to stand up and just say, no, we're not going to consume the product that you are using in order to inject politics into my children. We're just not going to do that. If you do that, corporations will listen. Alrighty, guys, the rest of the show is continuing right now. You're not going to want to miss it. We'll be getting into the